Raider Nation, I said it was going to happen in my video yesterday, and news dropped this morning. Marcus Peters is no longer a Las Vegas Raider. In addition to that, Roderick Teamer, one of our safeties, he's no longer a Las Vegas Raider. I'm going to give you my opinion on the move, how I feel about it, my opinion on it. I'm going to also kind of throw out a couple names that I think are going to benefit from the move. And now we officially have 2 open roster spots. And there's some names I think we should watch out for to see how's Champ Kelly and Antonio Pierce going to fill those rosters, the roster spots. So let's kind of dive into it. But again, if you can, please like the video. That helps me a lot. Please like the video if you can, and then subscribe and turn on those notifications. So let's kind of jump into it. First and foremost, I want to give all the credit to Antonio Pierce and Champ Kelly for just strictly making the move when it comes to Marcus Peters. I've been saying it for weeks. Marcus Peters has basically been making business decisions when it comes to tackling, being physical, and just being an active player out there. He had the pick 6, a few weeks ago, probably, I think it was like 4 weeks ago. He had the pick 6. He's had a couple good breakups, but for the most part, he's just letting runners run right by him. He's basically watching them, as they're carrying the football. And our defense has been showing sparks. Our defense has been balling, and he's just not been part of it, unfortunately. And in the state of this team and where we are, we need every single player on that 53-man roster to have the same energy, have the same spark in order for this thing to work. And Marcus Peters just hasn't shown it, and it's unfortunate because he's a veteran on this football team. He's a former All-Pro, a Defensive Rookie of the Year back in 2015 when he came out of college. So, look, he's not some third stringer. He's not some no-name corner that has a starting job, but it's because we have nothing else. I mean, he should be able to produce and contribute to this defense, and he just hasn't. And for Antonio Pierce and for Champ Kelly to make that move, I give them all the respect in the world. The first big move that they made was they benched Jimmy Garoppolo and they started Aiden O'Connell, and that move was instant. They made that move so quick. It was in basically the press conference introducing Antonio Pierce as the head coach. He named Aiden O'Connell the starter. And in this moment right now, there was some drama a little bit during the Kansas City game between him and Marcus Peters. They were having a pretty good conversation on the sideline. Marcus Peters came out in the second half with just a beanie on, so obviously he was benched. It was good to see Antonio Pierce do what was right for the team and really have what it took to address a veteran like Marcus Peters. And so all respect in the world to Antonio Pierce for making that move. Champ Kelly, either agreeing with it or, just being a big part of that decision. That just shows that these guys are willing to make the moves that are right for the team and not just for one individual. So big ups, big credit to Antonio Pierce being the interim head coach and Champ Kelly being the interim GM. All the credit in the world to them. And so, real quick, we also have Roderick Teamer, right? Saturday night before the game, he gets pulled over for speeding, gets arrested for a DUI, just being absolutely dumb. And so he deserves to be released from the team. And they did so very quickly, which was good, especially going into a bye week. And again, now we have 2 roster spots. So 2 guys that I think are going to benefit. When it comes to Roderick Teamer, he was more of a special teams guy. He did get some playing time. He got a lot of playing time last year at the safety position, but he's more of a special teamer. So, I'm not going to really get into who's going to benefit from him being released. It just opens up a roster spot and it opens up an opportunity for someone to come in and show that they deserve to be on the roster. But when it comes to Marcus Peters, he was our starting corner. Was brought in to be a lockdown guy. The 2 guys that I think are going to benefit the most is number 1, Jack Jones, which was the free agent that was released by the Patriots. He got a lot of playing time yesterday against KC. So when Marcus Peters was benched, Jack Jones was the guy to come in. And I think he's got a lot of potential. So he's going to have another 5 games to prove whether or not he deserves a roster spot or even a starting position on this defense. And so I think Jack Jones is definitely going to benefit because I think he's going to be the direct replacement. But I also think Jacorian Bennett, our rookie corner, I think he is also going to have opportunity to kind of show what he is worth. And a lot of things are coming out by Antonio Pierce that says Jacorian Bennett, he is doing everything he can to learn this game, learn what it takes to play the corner position at this level. And so he's asking a lot of questions. I'm hearing that he's asking the right questions. And so here's your opportunity. It's another player off the roster that is playing your position. So it bumps you up 1. So now you, Jack Jones, Jacorian Bennett, you guys are battling for the spot. Best man wins. So I think those 2 guys are going to be directly affected by this release, and good luck to them. And I hope that they ball and they take advantage of the opportunity. Now, like I was saying, we have 2 open roster spots. A couple names I think to watch out for. First, let's talk about Brandon Faison, right? He's played with us in the past. He's currently on IR. We're going to the bye week. There's a good chance that they take him off the IR. We haven't heard much about him, but he's been a productive corner in the past. Not the best, but he's been productive. He's a tall, lengthy corner, and I think he could potentially help us. So watch out for Brandon Faison. He might get taken off the IR and brought up to the 53-man roster because it is a bye week and he'll have time to kind of get acclimated and prepare himself. So look out for that name, Brandon Faison. And then let's look at the practice squad guys. We got Sam Webb. Sam Webb has been a corner that's played in games for us last season. And I think he has potential to come in and help out. So look at Antonio Pierce, maybe moving him to the 53 and seeing if he could help out. So I think Sam Webb can have an opportunity. And then last week we brought on Ellerson Smith. He's an outside linebacker slash kind of DN edge rusher. He can be a DN. He's a 6'6", 260, 270-pound guy. I mean, he's a big, tall, lengthy guy. And I'm not convinced that Tyree Wilson is going to turn this thing around this year. And we definitely need help on the edge when it comes to the pass rush. Max Crosby is obviously dealing with a knee injury. It showed in that KC game. So who knows what's going to happen? Hopefully these 2 weeks definitely help him just rehab that knee and he comes back full strength because we need him. Malcolm Kuntz is looking like he's doing pretty good. He's producing. We're seeing a lot of flashes out of Malcolm Kuntz, and I like what I'm seeing. But is he the guy? That's to be seen. He might need another offseason to really show that. But what I do know is in the immediate need, we need another edge rusher. And our depth is not there. We're not very deep at that position. So Ellerson Smith that we just brought on last week onto the practice squad, we might see him elevated to the 53 to take one of those 2 spots. And then let's look at free agents. There are still free agents out there, and there are a few guys that, hey, if we want to take a shot, you might as well go for it. One is a linebacker, former Pro Bowler, that was released last week by the Indianapolis Colts, and that's Shaq Leonard. He's a stud linebacker. His play has regressed quite a bit the last couple years, but, he cleared waivers, which means we can sign him to whatever contract that we want. Maybe we go after him. You got an open spot. We might be able to give him a contract that looks enticing, and we bring him on. Now, I don't want to pay him too much money because, again, over the last couple of years, he's regressed. I think our linebacker core is pretty good, right? Spillane is balling this year. Divine Diablo has shown some really good things. I think he can get a little bit better in coverage, but Luke Masterson has been doing a pretty good job. And so I don't know if we need a lot of help, but look, we have an open roster spot, and that name's out there. So Shaq Leonard is one to look out for. Matt Ioannidis, he's a D lineman that played for Carolina last year. Big body, 6'3", 300 plus pounds. We do need some help and some depth on the D line. That's another name that we could probably get for real cheap to add some depth to that D line room, and he might be able to help out. He's a little bit of he is a veteran, so he could maybe bring some knowledge to that room. But again, just a name to watch out for. And then lastly is Melvin Ingram. He's still out there. He played with Miami last year. He was brought on, I think it was about halfway through the season for Miami. He didn't start with Miami, but he was brought on and he finished the season with Miami, I think, with 6 sacks. So he was right around 6 sacks. So he's a guy that could potentially still produce. Again, I don't think he's going to come in and possibly be an instant starter and be an instant impact player, but could he help with the development of Tyree Wilson? Could he help on third downs? Could he help with just applying a little more pressure opposite of Max Crosby? Possibly. And again, we have an open roster spot, so maybe we'll take a shot. So I just want to jump on here, kind of address the Marcus Peters situation. Again, I knew it was basically going to happen. Either he was never going to touch the grass again as a Las Vegas Raider, or he was going to be let go at the end of the season. So, but again, big props to Antonio Pierce and Champ Kelly for identifying the problem and removing it from the locker room, because we definitely need all the positivity, all the positive energy that we can have for the remaining rest of the season and the rest of the games. So I appreciate you guys. Let's end this off with a little bit of Raiders trivia. So we'll hit you at the bottom of the screen. Who has the longest rushing play in Raiders franchise history? Do me a favor, put your answer in the comments below. I appreciate you all that do participate in this, and it's just a little bit of fun at the end of my videos. So I appreciate you guys. Just a little bit of my opinion. Let's watch out, because we have 2 roster spots, and going into a bye week, we have 2 weeks to make any moves, but you want to make them fast, because you want anybody that's brought up or brought in to have time to acclimate. So if we make a move, let's make it fast. Let's get them in the building, and let's get this thing rolling. I appreciate you guys. We are in a bye week, so I'm going to be dropping a lot of videos, so keep looking out. My plan is to drop at least 2 more videos this week, so look out for those. I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.